shadows crawl across the floor. Footsteps echo, then no more. Cold hands reach where light won't stay, calling you to come and play. Dancing shadows spinning fast, fear and laughter they will clash. Beat of terror, pulse of night. Darkness sings but feels alive. Eyes that follow from the wall. Silent voices start to call. Heartbeat racing with the drum. You can run.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Racing with the drums. You can run, but still they come.
Tommy's well off a little on that one, but that was kind of cool, huh?
Is that the first time you found that? Is that the first time you found that button?
Yeah, that specific thingy, yeah.
Oh, bring our guest up in a minute. She disappeared. It's the aliens. They're coming to take us away.
We had issues all the way from the start, guys. So welcome, welcome.
I'm telling you, it's the aliens. That's what it is. It's aliens. They're coming to take us away. What's that song? Was it? They're coming to take us away. They're coming. I think we're all going to be taken away at the Looney Bin, to be honest.
No,
You know?
no.
I think it's the spooky season. I think it's the spooky season that has now begun. The spirits are rising from their graves.
Yeah, we'll see.
Everybody, you not notice that Sabrina looks different tonight? She looks like she's from a spooky, haunted castle. You know.
Halloween.
Halloween's coming. You know, the wolves are howling. The ghosties and the ghoulies are coming out. You know.
Mhm.
So, Sabrina, what have you been doing today?
Oh, cleaning, rearranging my room, setting up a new backdrop.
Yeah.
All that fun stuff.
Yeah. I was fiddling with my new 4K camera today. I can't help it. I downloaded the app for it, and it's like a wee face. I wish I could show you all, but it's like a wee face because it's got two lenses. It's a Sony sensor that's inside. It's a Sony camera it's for live streaming, but it's really good. I'm really pleased with it, actually. Very good quality.
Yeah. It looks really nice so far.
It does. It looks really good. So, Sabrina, who is our amazing guest for tonight?
We have Adrienne Clayton, and she has done some amazing things. I mean, she is a Reiki Master. She's a psychic medium. She's a crystal healer. She's also a paranormal investigator with Things of Colorado.
Yep.
And Things Universal.
Yeah.
So, she's got some pretty exciting things to share with us today.
Let's bring her up onto the spooky set and hopefully nothing spooky happens again.
Yeah. Welcome, Adrienne.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Oh. Unmute.
There we go.
Yay!
Let's just face it, I'll do anything crazy.
Well, first of all, I would like to say thank you for agreeing to come on the show. I really, really appreciate it. I was very surprised when I messaged you. I thought, maybe, do you think she'll come on? And you did. You got back to me and you've come on, and thank you so much.
Of course.
Do you want to give everybody that's watching this a little plug about who you are? So they can find you?
I'm HR of Things Universal. We have teams from all over the world.
Yeah.
I really do more work, working my real job than anything else here lately. But I do residentials. I volunteer at our Humane Society, which I took on a foster a couple of weeks ago. Mhm.
Oh,
When you take on fosters, a lot of times they're not going to live. Um, that's just part of it.
yeah.
But this one is going to make it, but we're going to lose an eye. It's a little kitten. But he's better. We just need to get rid of that eye because he had a upper respiratory infection, and he's all better now. So he'll get adopted as soon as his eye heals. Um, so I decided it would be a good idea to. We did what we call a gala, and you can put in a silent auction, and it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I put in Reiki healing sessions and mini ghost hunt is what we put it, because if you put paranormal investigator, it
Yeah.
get a little freaked out. Like, what do you
Yeah.
mean? If you specify ghost,
That's all
they're
they
okay.
need. Yeah.
So it was more to teach people how to use equipment, things like that. So those did really good, which I was really surprised. It's amazing how here recently people are more open to the paranormal.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's actually weird you say that, because that they used to kind of like treat me like kind of like, oh, he does the tarot him, oh, and he talks to the
Mhm.
spirits, oh, I don't think we should really talk to him and that. But I've actually had people that I know message me and say, oh, you couldn't give me a reading, could you? You couldn't tell me a wee bit more about the spiritual realm. And you try and explain it to some people. There is some people out there that are just downright flat, no go near it. And I do feel that's down the religious kind of route. They'll not touch it with like a 10-foot barge pole because they feel that Satan himself's going to rise from the ground and drag them to hell just because I'm touching tarot cards and stuff like that. But I do like the ghost hunting. The ghost hunting's great. I've no done ghost hunting for many a year, 2 years now, 3 years since I've done any of that.
Yeah.
Where would you say was your favourite place to ghost hunt?
I'm going to say the Abbey in Canyon City, Colorado. It actually used to be, it was built for a vacation home for the Pope way
Right.
back, like early 1900s, I believe. Nuns lived there,
Yeah.
children lived there. Of course, monks lived there. What they call monks, they spoke. It wasn't like the silent monks, but it was really neat. And Catholics have their own way of doing things.
Yes.
So, we've all heard the stories, and I told you it's probably going to get controversial, but
Oh no, I love this kind of stuff because I get treated the same way. I wouldn't worry about it.
um, we've all heard the stories about babies, being born in the monasteries and from nuns that are supposed to not be doing things like that. And it's usually from the priest or,
Yeah.
another monk or whatever the case might be. They're human. I mean, come on, they
Yeah.
are human. But then the babies would get put in the walls, cemented in the walls and different things like that. Now, whether that happened in the place I investigated, I don't know. They would not reveal that. But what I did find very interesting, another real interesting place I went to was a Masonic temple, not a lodge, a
Yes.
temple.
Yes.
And temples are on ley line.
Mhm.
And we all know ley lines have meaning and more energy. And
Yeah.
that monastery had symbols that were related to Masonic. It was big. I mean, there was no hiding it. It was huge. It had a Masonic, like the A and different
Yeah.
things. And then it had a saying on it and something about what comes out of the ground will go back into the ground. And it was
Yes.
pretty much banishing demons is what it resulted in. And I was like, wow. But what we found there was not, nice, happy little spirits. It was the closest thing that I can relate it to is the rake. What we all see is a picture of the rake.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's what it was. It was over a 7-foot door,
Mm-hmm.
and it stunk. Oh my gosh! Everybody blamed everybody else for passing gas or whatever the case might have been. But that's how it smelled. But it wasn't evil. It wasn't evil. It was something trying to portray as evil because none of us felt threatened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was an interesting place. I love it. Now they shut it down, but
Yeah.
Oh.
It's interesting you mentioned the Masonic Lodge because I'm in a little rural village in Scotland, and I've actually got one of the first and one of the Scotland's oldest Masonic lodges just down from my house.
is it a lodge or a temple?
It's a lodge. It's a temple kind of lodge. It's quite big, and it's. I've been inside it. It's got 2 levels to it. So you've got the top level, which is
Okay,
like it's like a hall kind of type thing.
that's
I'm not a Mason before anybody thinks I'm a Mason. I'm not a Mason, but I do have like, relatives that used to be Masons. They've passed away now, and I get took into it once to get shown, and it was beautiful. And I'm going to say that in the note, the picture of the world on the floor, and it had all the kind of symbols in the walls and stuff like that. But it's interesting you say about the churches and things like that, because right across the road from it is a church from 1195 or something like that.
good
Wow.
Yeah,
grief.
and it's actually it's got a Knights Templar's cross on on the side of the building, and if you stand right at it, it's in direct line of Jerusalem, and it's also in direct line of the ley line that runs right down through the Masonic Lodge, right through the centre of the church.
Now you do know that a lodge, a Masonic lodge. Now here in the U.S., I don't know about there, but here in the U.S., there is always a tunnel
Yes,
under a Masonic lodge that
yes,
goes to a hospital.
yes,
The reason it goes to a hospital is because of their initiation procedures.
yes.
Wow.
And of course, we found out things that, the Masons aren't going to tell you everything.
Oh no, 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 no. I mean, I do know the building it's in is right next door to a prison.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be a prison. It was a prison from 1300 to like 1400, 1500. And it was
Wow.
to house the Scottish that was fighting, William Wallace and all that kind of stuff. And there is a tunnel that runs from there, from the one that was next door to the church, because the church never used to be a church. It
Yeah.
used to be a courthouse,
Yeah.
and they hung people there. And then somebody had the bright idea, oh, we're burying people here, but we might as well just start a church here. So that's what they did. They put a beautiful chapel. I'll send you some pictures there if you want after the
Yeah.
show.
Sure.
And it's
Sure.
got inside it. It's got the knights. It's got the knights' swords and all that kind of like stone stuff inside it and stuff like that. But it's interesting because it used to be a Catholic church, and then it obviously changed to obviously Church of Scotland, which is no Catholic. It's just like normal Christian,
Yeah.
and it's quite interesting today because the Masonic Lodge that's there. It's because I remember I met the Grand Master. He was a really nice man.
Mhm.
And I used to talk to him all the time, and he told me about how you've got to remember the Templars used to use the
Mhm.
Masons to build the churches and the castles, and I'm only like 40 miles away from Roslin Chapel.
Okay.
Roslin is one of the the famous chapel. So it's interesting. I've heard tales about what goes on.
Hmm.
But what do you know goes on within the Masonic Lodge?
The one I was at, and this is just what we have put together from people talking, the spirits talking, and just different. Um, they had a big, I don't even know what it's called, but it would heat the whole temple, and it was huge. I mean, like you could walk in it. It's as big as a room,
Yeah,
a very large room. And they would burn coal inside of that to heat the whole building. The radiator heat was still used. Um, for what we understand, one of the rituals is you go to the top floor. This was 5 floors, and the steps, like the floors are here, but instead of like normal steps that go up to that floor and then move on, the windows were set in the middle of the steps.
Yeah.
So it would confuse other people trying to shoot at them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why they were shooting at them, I don't know. But from what we understood, there was people who would bring young women. And this was way back when, where younger women were put to work when they didn't have families or they didn't have, somebody to take care of them, or women who'd lost their husbands. Back then, women couldn't work. You were at the mercy of either their family, your family, or prostitution. Those were your choices. Um, and they would bring in young women, and many times those women would die
Yeah.
at the hands of these people.
Mm-hmm.
And from what we're getting is they would put them in that incinerator, and poof, gone. We were one of the first to really investigate. The Masons still had their stuff on the top floor. Now, there was still a Bible too, a Masonic Bible. Of course,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
We'll keep a
It
hold of
was a
that.
new,
Yeah.
not one they had written in. It was new.
Yeah.
So we went upstairs and we were looking through their things. They did theater there, and so there was a lot of props and different things. And I'm looking at this skull, okay,
Yeah.
and its jaw is wired,
Yes.
and it's still got teeth. And I look at the lady that's giving us the tour, and I said, "Where'd this come from?" She said, "Oh, it's just one of their props." I said, "This is real."
Yeah.
She said, "No, I don't think it's a real human skull." I said, "I'm telling you, it's real.
Yeah.
I've seen enough dead animals in my life that this is real." So she took it to the police, and the police said, "Yes, this is a real human skull. We don't have any missing persons, so just take it back.
Just take it back.
Take
Yeah.
it back where you got it."
I
Well,
mean,
it was a female. It was young, maybe 15, 16 female.
mhm.
Um, and some of their rituals, like when you were to join, they
Yes,
would
I know. I've
go
heard.
to the top floor and uh, whatever they did all the way down, then they would put you in this hole, and it was pitch black, and you had to find your way out.
Mhm.
And once you found your way out, apparently they, threatened you and not very nice things if you told anything.
Yeah, what I understand it. Now, this is what I know, and you've got to remember the American Masons are different from the Scottish Masons.
Mm-hmm.
The Scottish Masons are older because obviously Scotland was about before America existed. Well, America existed, just Indians and stuff that ran about. But what I'm saying is the Scottish Masons. Now, it's interesting because there is a story tied to Roswell Chapel. I don't know if you've ever heard that. I will tell you that after if you want, after the show if you want. But it's interesting because they all commit something that they cannot talk about.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it's like a brotherhood kind of thing, right? It's like a brotherhood kind of thing. It's like, this is what I've heard. This is what I know people that are in the Masons, right? And I don't know if it's still the same to this day, but they had to commit an act because if they were terrified that got out, it would destroy them.
Yep. It's the same as, let's akin that to the Bloods and Crips gang. They have to commit an act to be able to join. And you have
Yes.
to show that you are willing to break the law or do whatever it is they ask you to do.
Yeah, it's like in Colombia, it's like the gangs in Colombia have got to murder someone before they can join the gang. So as
That's
they
the
can
same way.
so as they can get so as they can become a member of the gang.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, show your loyalty.
Yes. Yes. And I mean I've heard tales about what they got up to. I mean you've also got the East
if you do the history on swastikas, they were not
No, they
at
were a
that
symbol.
point.
They used to be. It was actually a Hindu symbol. It was a religion because it's actually goes along, goes down the cross, and then it comes down and goes like that. The
Yep,
Nazi
yep,
symbol's actually on its side, so as it
yep.
looks like a circle. But in actual fact, it's like I think it's a Hindu symbol. You used to get it in the bottom of like vases for like India and stuff like that, or
Mhm.
like China, deep in China. It's a symbol of peace and renewal.
And
Like,
welcoming. And
yes,
that's why he put it on the motel. His fence told his story. He put, his masonry and the different things. It was a rock fence, and it was his story on becoming a mason. He was a Grand Master when he passed
yes,
away. Small mountain town, you know. Um, and there was a story. This lady walked up and she said, they were wanting to see the place, and they told her about it. And her husband's sitting in the car, and she's talking to this man across the fence.
hmm
And he said, well, if you want to see, my art and things like that, go up the hill there. That's where my house is. And showed her. Her husband said, have you lost your mind? And she goes, why? He said, you weren't talking to anybody. And she said, he was right there. I was talking to him. Just follow it. They followed it up there, knocked on the door, said, this man said I could see his art here. And the lady goes, okay. So who you spoke to has not been alive in over 50 years. And, but this happens. This has happened more than once. Come on in. I'll show you his art because
yep,
apparently he wants you to see it. So, things like that are just like, wow,
yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, it's. I've always been fascinated with with the Masons. I've always been fascinated, but then I've always had this in the back of my mind. Don't go near it.
Yeah.
Stay away from it. It's interesting because there's a cemetery just up from me that, and I've got a lot of family in the cemetery. Then they've got the graveyard obviously next to the chapel, and in the cemetery there's a wee section, and all it is Masonic people because you can see the Masonic sign and all the gravestones, the tombstones.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the old man that I used to, I'll not mention him because I know I've got people from my village that watch this stuff and that I was really friends with. He was a Grand Master. And he used to tell me that, have you ever heard of the Illuminati? Everybody says, if I disappear, by the way, so if I mention this and I disappear, you can do a show on me or something. But have you ever heard about the Illuminati?
Yes.
That's got ties to the Masonic Lodge,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you've got the Hellfire Club.
Yep.
You've got to remember a lot of these like rich people out there that were members of these organisations, and you just need to look at like the Hellfire Club in like Edinburgh, Ireland, and all that for all the terrible things that went on
Mm-hmm.
there. I mean, what type of spirits have you seen? What have you like captured, and what other type of spirits, like, other strange things have you seen?
The rake was the
Yeah,
strangest thing that I have ever encountered.
yeah,
Um, but honestly, it's more being led to different things, and then you realize that, hey, oh, this makes sense. And when it's like here in the house. My house was built in 1908.
hmm,
Yeah, oh wait. Um, there's one family lived here before us, and then my husband's family. His mom was raised here. He was kind of raised here, but now we have it, and we take care of his mom and dad. But it's like, I was sitting down in the basement one day, and there's a man standing over
hmm,
by my freezer, and I'm going, and I'm not looking at him. I can see where he's at, but in my mind I see where he's at. I know what he's wearing,
yeah,
and I know that he's looking for his wife and baby. I don't know if it's an unborn baby or a newborn baby, but he's wearing a plaid shirt. He's got a red mustache, red goatee, and the plaid shirt is like a farmer's shirt.
It does do out of curiosity. I don't know what these are called. I don't know if they're called dungarees. I don't know if they're called dungarees or not. I don't know if that's the name for them. You know what I'm talking about, the kind of overalls, the ones where you put it over your shoulders. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, like hobo.
Yeah, that type of
Yeah.
thing. Does he wear anything like that? Out of curiosity.
It was just so strange, and I dismissed it,
Yeah,
because he went away immediately after he was looking.
yeah.
About a month later, he was behind me. I was facing my husband, and he was behind me in bed, not laying in bed, but standing. And he looked completely different, like 30 years older.
Yeah.
And his goatee was gone. He just had a mustache, still red hair, same shirt. And he never said a word. He never told me what he wanted, never nothing, just disappeared, and I've never seen him again. So people pass through here quite often. It used to be farmland way
That's.
back.
I was just about to ask you that because again, this. I can't help this. This is my psychic abilities now. Here we go. I can't help myself. Why am I seeing like an old barn? And I don't know if it's on your property and it's in the property next to you. There's like, I don't know if it's like, it's kind of like cooler where you are right now. There's like quite a lot of like, I would say, I don't know if it's like autumn. I mean, autumn's obviously fall, but it's like, there's like a row of trees and there's like a barn. I can see a barn. And it's a really old one. What do you call those barns? You only get them in America. You don't get them in Europe. And it's got the sides go up like that, and then the roof goes like that, and then it goes up a
Oh
bit.
yeah. That's a regular barn here.
Yeah, but it's no, you don't get that here. Barns are just like square things here, you know, with
Okay.
like a wee pointy roof. But it's weird you said about that man because I seen something. I was going to message Sabrina, but then I thought better no, in case she could see it too.
Is he younger or older?
I can't really tell. I would say he was in his 50s or 60s.
Okay, so that might be. I have not seen him personally, but other people in the family, random times, have seen a man with overalls
Aye,
and a
there.
white beard.
He's standing next to. Is that a fish tank that you've got?
Yeah.
Is that a fish tank?
Yeah.
Is that a mirror I'm looking at? Where like there's like a
Off to the
curtain.
left.
There's like a curtain, like a grey curtain.
Oh yeah,
in the
yeah.
back doorway.
Cutting off the other room. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where he's standing.
And that's, people have seen him there before. We don't know who he is, what he is. He doesn't speak. I think he might be residual. I don't know.
He knows that I know now because he's standing smiling at me. So he's obviously. I'm going to say the new also that I don't know. Do you have a basement?
I am in the basement.
Is that what that is? Because it's interesting. Because I was thinking about a basement. And I didn't think that you were actually physically in the basement right now.
Yep. And this basement is like half of it is completely underground.
Right.
It's not like, it's above ground and then no, this is completely underground up to the windows, and the windows are at the ceiling. So it's very underground.
Because it's quite interesting because there was something that he did in there. I wouldn't say nothing bad, but it's like something that he did in there. I don't know if it was like he made stuff. I don't know if it was like joinery. Sabrina, help us out here because I can tell that Sabrina's senses are the satellite dishes are going round about. But what am I saying?
Woodworking stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So really that's I don't know about anybody else, but the dreams here lately have been, usually I don't dream. And if I do, I write it down just because, and most of them don't make sense. And I've just never went back to it. But so last night, if anybody has any ideas, please let me know. I was at a building, it was like a restaurant, something like that. But I was outside at another store or something, and the restaurant was here. And I was standing outside the door, but I couldn't see what was going on inside. There was medical personnel, all kinds of things at the door, and I could hear them hitting whatever person with like a blanket, like you're trying to put them out of, if they're on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm looking, and they bring somebody out, and they're covered in white. not on their clothes, but their face, their arms, and it's like a cream or a powder, and they're completely white. Whatever this white was, they're putting those sticky tabs on them, like for heart monitors or to shock them back to life.
Yeah.
That powder was a conduit, or the cream was a conduit to help them put that on and make it work, however that worked. First one went out, they were doing it again. Second one came out, and they laid her in front of where I was standing, and she looked up at me. It was my daughter's eyes.
Hmm.
Wow.
But it didn't look like my daughter.
Mhm.
And she was just looking at me like, I know this is it for me. And I'm trying to figure out, what do I say to this person? Or, I know she's done, but it was just so strange. And then before that, I saw, I don't know if you guys have this, but like sometimes you'll see writing in a dream and you can't
Mhm.
actually read it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense if you're reading it. This one I was able to. And it said, I will kill stupid people
Ooh.
That's interesting.
on January 8th, 2026.
Wow.
The heck? What?
That's interesting because that could be like a vision of something yet to come.
Yeah, but who talks like that? I mean,
I'll let Sabrina go because she might have an idea. What's your idea, Sabrina?
Um. So first of all, when you're dreaming of somebody's eyes and it's somebody that's familiar to you, that eyes usually represent that it's you sharpening your intuition, like you're going through a transformation, kind of like a rebirth. That's also what death symbolizes. So I really think that part of this is trying to tell you, pay attention to your intuition and what your dreams are telling you, because they are forecasting what you're going to see in the future. Um yeah. Aside from that, there's eyes can also represent illusions.
Mhm.
Things that you imagine are there but may not be.
Yeah.
Things that
That's how I read people, is through their eyes.
that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Um Yeah. So I think there's a lot deeper meaning there, but I would definitely start like by writing down some of the things that you're remembering seeing,
Mhm.
because you're going to recognize a pattern or see a pattern in this.
Yeah, some of it is just not so much fun.
Yeah. No, not at all.
It's it's interesting because can I ask you something? Have you been anywhere near a hospital recently?
Um, in the last month, yes.
Yeah. Was it a modern hospital that was like a running hospital, or was there like an investigation? Was it?
No, it was a modern hospital.
There isn't any jails near you, is there?
Yeah, less than a mile.
It's weird you say that because when you started talking about that, I don't know if it's a thing now, but I know I think maybe in the mid 50s, 60s, 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s in the United States. I know you ever seen Shawshank Redemption? You ever seen that movie? Everybody's seen that movie. See how they get all covered in the white powder? They cover them in all in the white powder,
Yep.
and it's to
Yep.
like kill off like I don't know, it's to like kill like bugs or something like that. And it just made I don't know why I'm getting this, but I'm getting this.
I actually went to a jail where my uncle at one time was a small town, Iowa, Kansas. My uncle was in jail there at one point, but this was a kind of jail that they would pack. It was probably the size of 2 rooms,
Mm-hmm.
and they would pack people as much as they could in those
Mm-hmm.
cells. And their exercise, there was a place they could run around those 4 cells. And it was a creepy, creepy place. I wonder if maybe I brought something.
That's what I'm thinking because because I've just realised what that stuff is. It was lice treatment. They used to like cut. It was like a white powder, and it looked like talcum powder. It looked like talcum,
Yep.
baby powder.
Yep.
You can't buy talcum powder anymore because of all the problems it's had. But
Hmm.
it's like it's baby powder, and they cover you from head to toe in it. They hose you down, and then they cover you from head to toe in that, and it
And
kills
that would
lice.
not do it. No. Yeah,
That's
it just
interesting.
wasn't on their clothes. It was on their everything, every skin
Hmm.
showing, but not on their clothes.
That's what I'm thinking. Because if you think it was like a disaster, like a premonition, because if it was a disaster, like a premonition, their clothes would be covered in the powder. But
Yeah.
obviously, if a fallen building or something like that, you
Mhm.
all know what happened in New York in 2001 when the
Mhm.
buildings collapsed. Everybody was coated
Oh
in
yeah.
the powder, which gave a lot of poor people like cancers and things like that.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
where you're speaking at is like in the prisons. What they used to do is they used to push them all into a room. They used to hose them down, and then they used to cover them all in this weird white powder which killed lice.
Mhm.
And then they put their clothes on, and then their body would cover. It makes me wonder if you've picked somebody up.
It's very possible, and also, the rebirth portion, I think might be. I was raised Christian.
Yes.
I have come to a point in my life where I'm questioning every single thing I have ever been told.
Yeah.
Because if you look at history, if you look at the Bible, you're going, if that's no, I'm not following some vengeful person. I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
And then, you go through history, and so much of the Bible or even that history was made. First, it was man written, but even past that, it is made to have people conform to a
Yes.
certain thing that they want you to conform to, whatever it might be. So, what better way to do it? Scare tactics.
Mm.
Hell,
Right.
Yeah.
next.
With the Bible, everybody always asks me what I think about the Bible. I'm going to say right now, you got to remember the Bible was written, was it 400 years after the death of Jesus, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
So I do. I'm going to say this now. I do believe there was somebody called Jesus.
Oh
I
yeah.
do believe he did rise from the dead, and I do believe that he did commit miracles in that. But I do believe that it was also took in, and it was written in such a way, the Bible, to control,
Oh yeah.
mass control,
Absolutely.
especially women at the time, because that's how you just need to go into Islam. You just need to go into like Christianity. It's all about like control. It's
Yep.
all about control, and every religion is the same. And people be like, "Oh no, every religion is the same." Mostly, every religion is the same. It's all about control. I mean, you get the Ten Commandments. I shall not kill. Great. There's some great commandments there that people live by in that. But I do believe that it was designed in such a way it was to
Yep.
control the
Yep.
females, the women.
Yeah. And back in Viking days, things like that, it was also added to control them, so that they weren't so. I guess they called them animalistic. Um, but in reality, we still have our animal instincts if we just hone into them. I mean, as a parent, somebody's coming after your child, you're going to do everything you can to protect that child, including killing that person, if
Yes.
that's what it takes. Now, some of us have lost that instinct and probably need to go back to, meditating and figuring out, what it is, how people lived back then, because that's how they survived, is,
Yes.
protecting your own.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying go out there and kill people. That is absolutely not. Um, I have taken more toward Wiccan,
Yes.
um, simply because even in the Bible, it does talk about spells. It talks
Yes.
about witches. It
Mhm.
talks about hexes and ghosts.
Yes.
Um,
See,
I
that's. I'm
they
really
weren't
glad you
taken
said
away
that. I'm really glad you brought this up because it's a great segue to actually go into your Wicca. Because, I mean, I'm going to say it right now. I see myself as a spiritualist. That's what I see
from.
myself as.
Mhm.
I see myself as a spiritualist, and that I do
Mhm.
believe Jesus existed. But
Sure.
what a lot of people don't really, and there is a lot of the people out there that are totally Bibles obsessed, right? Jesus did do the same as Wicca, people in Wicca.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, he healed people. That's what witches and that did in the medieval times. They healed people. That was the person you went to in the village that would give you herbs to take away toothache or something like that,
Yeah.
or something like that. But they also Jesus, he also, I mean, he said he had magical powers, but
Hmm.
so did Wicca. Yeah, I mean, but that's the Bible kind of like twisted it a wee bit. Again, it was twisted and it was changed, and then all the people in Wicca and witches were persecuted, obviously, with the witch trials.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, which was
Let's think
horrendous.
about it. They wouldn't have been persecuted, or prosecuted, whichever way it went, if they didn't actually have powers, if they weren't scared of their
Yeah.
powers. And 400 years later, when it was actually written, do you remember in kindergarten playing telephone? And you sit there and you whisper in someone else's
Mm,
ear something you were told. And by the time it gets back around to you, it has absolutely nothing to do
exactly.
with that first comment. So I think that's a lot of how that
Yeah.
went.
Yeah.
It's
And
it's actually really interesting because I actually like studied the kind of like witch trials and things
mhm, mhm,
for a long time there, and a lot of people don't realize some of the women of the village were burnt at the stake and
mhm,
drowned because they wouldn't sleep with the priest dude or the minister dude that was in charge of
mhm.
and if they said anything wrong to that person, if they said anything, abuse cases and everything, if they said anything wrong, oh, you're a witch, burnt them at stake.
Yep. Or if somebody died around them, even if it was
Exactly.
natural causes, it
Exactly.
was they did it.
Hmm. Exactly.
Or if there was sickness going around, which was a lot of it, there was an illness going around that they did not have a cure for at that point in time. They did it.
Yeah.
So, of course, I believe we have a creator. I don't know who that is. I'm almost inclined to believe that it could be what we're calling alien.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, because I had a man tell me one day, and now it makes sense. It didn't back then. It's when I first got in the paranormal. He was in a motorcycle accident and he died in that motorcycle accident.
Hmm.
He was out like dead for 10 minutes before they revived him. Who lives after 10 minutes?
Exactly.
And first of all, who lives? Second of all, with their brain intact.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just can't happen. But he was telling me, he said, you don't want to get into this. And I said, why? He said, look around you. What do you see? And we were at a gas station at the time. And I said, well, I see gas pumps and cars. And he said, but is that really what's here? He said, is it really? I'm like, okay, you lost some brain cells. And then he said, let me tell you what happened when I died. He said, I remember dying. And I remember it was a spaceship that I went to. And there was 9, 10 foot tall beings that were talking to me.
Yeah.
But there was no words being said. It was all telepathic. And I understood them. They understood me. And I'm like, well, that's how we talk to spirits, is telepathically like that.
Hmm.
And he said, are you getting it yet? He
Yeah.
said, I did not miss my family. I did not think of my family. I did not feel pain. I did not feel anything. No, no human emotion whatsoever. I was only in that moment.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, okay. And as far as I know, he's normal
Hmm.
and he knows exactly what he's saying.
Hmm.
But that stuck with me when he said, is that really what's here?
It's interesting you say that because I've got a friend. I'll not mention his name, but he'll know because he'll watch this, and he won't mind me telling the story. I'm not going to tell you how he was. He was in some type of accident, and all of a sudden, he found it was like instant. It was like the lights went out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, he was floating. He was just floating in the vastness of space. That's what it felt like. It was like he was just floating, and everywhere round about him, he could see the galaxies. He could see everything round about him,
Yeah.
and it was weird because it. he was in space, but he could breathe and all that kind of stuff. And it's interesting because he could see people in the distance.
Oh.
And as soon as his eyes clocked onto those people, it's like instant. It just arrived at them. It arrived at them. And they're like, listen, you're going to have to go back. It's no your time. It's no your
Yeah.
time. You're going to have to go back. Come with me, and walk with me. And it was this, and he was like, I know you from somewhere. He says, oh, yes, we've met many times before you came to the earth. I know you knew him, but he didn't know who he was. But that was for another life, I think.
Mhm.
And he walked him back, and they showed him the men are working on him on the road. The paramedics are working on him on the road. He says,
Yep.
listen, you're going to have to go back. It's time. You have to go back. But spread the word. Tell people what you've seen today. And trust me, you will see us again one day. We love you. You're doing a grand job, but you're going to have to go back. It's got to be painful. And he's like, I don't really want to go back. You're going to have to go back. And then all of a sudden, he woke up in the hospital. And that was a week later because he'd been in a coma. But he'd been dead for, I think, his heart had stopped for a full 7.5 minutes.
Yeah, and see, they shouldn't even make it through that.
Yeah.
Scientifically.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's quite interesting because he was a motorbiker. He was on his motorbike. And they actually tell the paramedics and stuff what happened. And he says, aye, that's what it was like. Because he knew what the paramedics looked like. So how could he tell what the paramedic looks like?
Yeah, unless he's up top looking down.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and a lot of people, when I worked at the hospital, I was really young and I worked in the kitchen, but I remember a lady in ICU and she was sitting up in bed,
Mhm.
ready for her food. I was delivering her food to her, and she said, "Did you bring something for my husband?"
Mhm.
No. And she said, "Well, he's sitting in the chair right there. Would you grab him something?" I said, "You know what? Okay." I went and made another plate and took it and set it in that chair because that's like telling a dementia patient that they don't see what they see, because that is their reality. They do see it. So I'm like, okay. She died that night.
Yeah.
But knowing what I know now, you see hospice patients reaching up in the air, or
Yeah.
they'll see kids running around, or they'll see their husband, or whatever the case might be. But they're seeing through that veil. They're seeing the other dimension, and there's always someone there to welcome them in. They never go alone.
Yes. Sabrina, would you like to ask? I've been asking all the questions all night. I'm gonna be quiet for a minute. Let Sabrina ask some. I love doing shows like this. I love talking about this subject. But if you go,
Now that you put me on the spot,
I couldn't
not
help it.
cool.
I just felt I thought I better let Sabrina say something. I better let Sabrina. So I'm sitting here like that.
I do have an opinion on like what we see when people
Yeah.
pass and things like that, because I do think that we create everything that we see around us right now. So when we pass, why wouldn't we be creating what we want to see then too?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all energy. So
I
the
think
energy that we put into that, I kind of feel like is what we're going to see.
until it comes to actually seeing reality, whatever is there.
Right.
I've seen YouTube videos of people that say they went to hell
Yes.
and were told, it's not your time, but this is what's going to happen if you continue the path you're.
Yeah.
They created that. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't buy into the hell thing, but
No, I don't believe in hell either. I'm going to tell you right now, I do believe you see what you believe. So if
Yeah.
you think, I think if you believe that you're going to wake up in a beautiful garden surrounded by mountains and flowers
Jesus
and,
standing there, yeah,
and Jesus standing there with his robe on, that's what you're going to get. Because
Yep.
that's like a comfort situation. Imagine somebody that's died of cancer, they've been in agonising pain, they've died, they've woke up and it's like, oh my God, and they've went to church every Sunday their entire life.
right,
And they're like, oh, but Jesus will take them into the afterlife. But that'll just be something to like say, come on, until they can finally realise what's really going on,
right,
And
right.
it's the same for different religions. So it's whatever you believe in, that's what you get.
Yeah.
And with like mediums and stuff like that, I think it's totally different. I think I'll be waiting. I'll just be sitting there waiting. I'll be like, right, where's my mum? I'm waiting on you. You're late.
Right. Yeah, and that's things that we if you've ever looked into the Akashic records,
Yes.
I'm working on that now.
Yes.
Um, it brings, it puts together the, like, you meet somebody and there's no, like, let's say, your first boyfriends or whatever, you're nervous. You won't eat in front of them. You won't say certain things in front of them. You're just not you. You're
Yeah.
not going to act like you until you get to know. And I think that's for everyone. But then you meet one person and none of that is like that. And it's like, whatever, you know. I have only one friend that's like that. And I actually met her on an investigation. It was her bar, and her mom was running it. She came in after all hell broke loose that night. And people were, I don't know if they were possessed, but I think they had an attachment long before they came there. Um, but yeah, I mean, we had live streams going, three of them, three different buildings. It was supposed to be this huge thing, and it turned into a nightmare
Yeah.
because one person decided to go to the mirror and drag in whatever she wanted to so that
Yeah.
she could make, the smoke and lights show. Well, it caused a lot of people a lot of heartache for a long time. But um, she walked in that next day. She's Wiccan. Not anymore. She is now Christian. Bless her soul. Um, she walked in and she had her book and
Yeah.
she looked at me. And I was like, it'd be cool to be friends with her. And I don't remember anything after that, except we have never went a day without talking. Um, I've kept her kids. We've been through divorces together. We've been through everything together. Um, what she says is, how dogs will pee on something
Mhm.
and it's theirs. She'll tell people she peed on me. But, maybe metaphorically she did. I don't know. But, we're each other's balance. And so I know somewhere down the line we have known each other and we've made a soul contract somewhere.
Mhm.
And whatever that is, there's times I want to kill her. And, you know, um, same with her, I'm quite sure. But, you realize, hey, this, what they call a twin flame or whatever it is, doesn't necessarily have to be a partner, like a sexual partner. It can be somebody you meet, a friend, somebody you're never with, but you have a role to play in their life. Whatever contract you made before you came back,
Yes.
you have to fulfill that. And you don't know what it is, but if you go with the flow, okay, let's do this. But,
It is. It's interesting you say that because obviously I've got vivid. I do believe I made deals with people before I came to this existence. Right. I do believe that before I was even born,
mm-hmm,
I knew Sabrina. But we knew people, but me and Sabrina, we've known each other before this, and we've been through a lot. It's a long story, everybody. We're actually writing a book about it, so you can hang with that. But what I'm trying to say is like, I think everybody within our lives right now, even I might have even met you. I might have met people within the chat there's people I know in the chat in there.
mm-hmm.
How do we not know we all met up as a group? Before we come and said, "Oh, I'm going to have you on my podcast, and you're going to talk about this, and then you're going to take us out ghost hunting and stuff like that." I'm just using that as like an analogy kind of thing, but I think we all know each other. I think everybody that's got like something within our lives, we all arranged it.
Yeah. Well, they talk about it's a small world because you meet somebody who has been in your same hometown or their parents grew up in that hometown. They talk about it's a small world.
Hmm.
I think it's a small world because we only know the people we're supposed to know.
Yes.
Others you see and you walk by them and it's like, hi, you never remember their face again because you saw them in a mall somewhere or whatever. The ones you actually talk to are the ones that you have known or you have some small role to play in their life, whatever that might be.
See, that's interesting. Was it, is it Michelle in the chat there that says maybe it's our higher self that we are familiar with? See, that's interesting, that, because that could be our higher self. I mean, I've talked to a lot of other mediums that have done like near death stuff, and they've told me about the processes when you die.
Mhm.
When you die, you go back to the afterlife, right?
Mhm.
So you can basically do what you want. You can see your family, but
Yep.
then you can cross again. And it's like becoming your higher self. And when you finally become your higher self, you forget about the life that you led.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
because you're like one with the universe at that point. You don't really particularly care because you're like, you know everything that ever will or ever happen. And then you know everything. You know everyone. You see where
I
I'm going
don't
with
think
this?
you forget. I don't think you forget. I think it's a lesson you learned, and those attachments, I call them energy cords
Yes.
that you have with whoever you came in contact with, whether it was good or bad.
Hmm.
Those energy cords are tied to that person, regardless.
Yes.
Now, I think you have a choice
Hmm. Oh,
whether
you
you
do.
come back or whether you go to the next level, whether it be a spirit guide, whether it be what they call angels, which are not what
No.
you think of, but
I.
um, you have lots of roles you can play. You can be somebody's spirit guide, you can be their mentor, you can be,
Yes.
whatever it is you decide to contract to do.
Yeah, it's like my spirit guide. I knew him for a previous life.
Yeah,
And I think I arranged this with him so as he would look after me
yeah,
within this life. No doubt when I go back over there, the two of us will be like, oh, I remember you. I
yeah,
remember that deal. And maybe I've got a deal with him for maybe he'll come back the next time
hmm
and I'll be his spirit guide.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like, how do you explain kids 3, 4 years old that tell their parents, "I used to live there,"
Yeah.
and their parents are like, most of us go, "Okay," and we move on with the day. We don't acknowledge anything they say, and then they start giving facts.
Yes, like that kid, there was a kid, oh God, it was in the United States. I can't remember. I think it was Florida. I watched a program about it, and the boy was only like 5 years old, and he was
Mhm,
sitting with his dad, and they were watching this at Discovery Channel,
mhm,
and it was the old aircraft carriers with the Japanese, and he went, "I used to fly one of them,"
mhm.
and
Yep.
he knew everything about the Corsair. It was a Corsair with the plane's wings folded up. He knew everything. They taken it to a museum, and he knew how to start it.
Yeah.
He knew how to
Yeah.
start it.
There was one like that they did a video on. Right, right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, there was a kid, their parents, they wrote down what he said, but they kind of dismissed it.
Hmm.
And after a while, he got to where he wouldn't even talk about it. He was 16 or 17 when they had him on camera.
Hmm.
And, he remembered some, but pretty much what he said was, I don't remember much about what I talked about. Now, that's because he was dismissed. Instead of allowing him to continue that memory, that's like if you have a dream and you wake up, you replay that dream in your head, you're going to remember it more. But if you dismiss it and keep moving, you're not going to remember what it was even about. That's why we write them down. But you dismiss a child and it's over. It's done.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the children out in the world right now. There's children out in the world right now that come into this world. They're normal children, but then you get children that come into this world when they're 5 year old. They can sit down at a piano and play it without any lessons, or they can like play a musical instrument and they know they have the knowledge. And you're like that to yourself. Like, there's obviously they're remembering something. They're meant to remember something of this world, of the last world that they were in. You know, Sabrina, what's your opinion?
Yeah, this is. I don't have anything to add to that because
You don't
it's
get that.
something I already would have said.
There you go. But I do think we're here for a reason. I do think we're all the spiritual community. I do hear. I'm going to say something now, and this is what's going to get some of the religious people, but I don't particularly care. I don't truly believe in demonic demons. I do believe that there is entities out there, but they've always been. It's like the first thing people ask me when they find out that I do ghost hunting and stuff like that. Have you ever seen a demon? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And I'm
We
like,
have
oh,
good, we have evil.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I've had people coming up to me and says, oh, I think I've got a demon in my house. I seen something move.
I hate that. I
And I'm
hate
like, look, and I said, I'll tell you something there. I says, if you've got a demon in your house, I can tell you something right now. You'll not be there for very long. Look, I do believe that demons exist, but I don't think that they're truly demons. I think it's something man has put on their name. You've got to remember, I've got a friend that does the voodoo and stuff like that, and you get the Loa before that. I mean, you've got to remember the Bible's only been around for a certain amount of time.
Mhm.
Before that, what was there? It's an interesting thing. Demons are very rare. Very, very, unless of course it's like Annabelle or something like that. Or it's like it's something like darker. Like the Wardens, they had a few cases where was it the Amityville horror? I mean, people don't realise that's actually based on a true story, but I don't think it's as bad as people make out it was. It wasn't like the fireplace gurgling and strange things erupting in the night. You've got to remember, people that watch Hollywood things, these things are blown out of proportion for movies. Like Annabelle the doll. The Annabelle the doll does not look anything like Annabelle doll in the movie. Right?
No. It's a Raggedy Ann.
It's a
Yeah,
ragged. Yeah.
entities, spirits, whatever, can get attached to objects.
Yes.
They don't live in objects. They can manipulate the object because that's what they are familiar with. That's what they feel. You know, that's fine, but they're not living in them. I mean, people have
Yeah.
went way out there with this mess, and I
Yeah.
would take Annabelle home. I have no problem with it.
Yeah. I will say with Annabelle the doll, I don't truly think it's a demon that's attached. I think it's something else. I think it's something older. I think it's something. See, I don't know if people know this, but you can get such a thing as a twisted soul. And that's like a human soul that's been twisted to really do. You think about what the Nazis did and things like that, down that type of line. So it's like a human soul's been twisted to do evil, and they don't need to stand by the laws that so supposedly the demons need to stand by. And it's quite interesting because I've watched a lot of like demonology stuff and that. I mean, what's your opinion on it? What's your opinion in the demonic kind of realm?
Well, let's look at it this way. We have spirits that stay here because they want to.
Yes.
We have spirits that come back and visit when they want and then go wherever it is they go. And if you want to stay in that state, you have investigations where you hear a person, a spirit that says, I can't leave because of, and they talk about the dark man or the whatever. I think that's what you would consider a twisted spirit. He knows what he's doing, or she knows what she's doing, and knows that she has control over these other spirits, and that's what she's doing. I yes, that can be considered demonic to some people, I guess, but I think we have a choice, and if your mind is that messed up, it does take somebody like us to walk in and say, you are free. You can go.
Exactly.
It's this illusion you have that this person is holding you here is just that, an illusion. That's like us having a doorway. We feel like we can't go through it. But if we set it on fire, it's going to burn down and we can go through it. So I think that's a lot of what that is. And yes, I do believe they can take over our thoughts if you allow them.
Yes, you've got to watch.
And that's what's happened.
I mean, it's interesting because I was watching something on Facebook that I'll not mention what it was, and something was getting moved. And I'll give you a clue. It was a doll. It was in a box, and it was getting moved. And this guy had posted it on Facebook, and I was watching that, and I could see something following him.
Yeah.
And I could. It's interesting. Yeah, has you ever seen the film Insidious?
Yes.
Well, that's what I could see. Something like that down the same lines as it, and it was weird because it looked like a bug. It looked like a parasite type of thing following.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too happy. It wasn't any too happy that he was sprinkling his stuff and all that about. But I do believe that is darkness. That's true darkness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. There has to be good and evil. There has to be a balance. If we had nothing but, butterflies and fairies and everything was all good, we
Yeah.
wouldn't learn a lesson whatsoever on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
It just wouldn't happen. Twisted Sister, boy.
Is that
As
not?
old as I am. Oh, 1975. Yep. Okay.
God, I've not heard the Twisted Sister for a long time. I ken there's the band Kiss. There's the band Kiss. Twisted Sister, I've not heard of that for ages.
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
That's.
80s, early 90s. Yep.
I'm going to be looking that up tonight. I've no listened. I've no. Oh God, I was born in 1981. I'm quite a young.
Yes, you are. You're a baby.
I'm a baby. I'm a baby, but it's not considering some of the younger generation now. They don't even know what Twisted Sister is or who
Yeah.
Kiss was. I mean, Kiss was they were an awesome band. Everybody I see one of the members died the other day. Kiss. I think it was the drummer passed away the other day.
There's been a
Kiss.
lot recently.
There has been a lot. There has, and it's quite interesting because there's a lot of famous people been popping their clogs recently, which
Yeah.
is quite scary.
That's Ozzy. Ozzy. Now,
Ozzy.
I was never a fan.
Yeah, I know it was.
That was not my thing, but I knew who he was.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, his son is amazing. He's in the paranormal world.
Yes.
He's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But Ozzy had issues long before his health issues.
Yeah. It's interesting that because it's actually a good way. I mean, we've got 20 minutes left of the show, Sabrina. We could actually talk about this. I mean, I would say, what's your idea, right? I'm going to talk about this because it's something we were talking about before the start of the show. Curses, hexes. What's your opinion on that? I mean, tell us about them. I have to bring it up.
It can absolutely be done. And the bottom line for me is, what happened?
Oh, Sabrina, we're having to. No problem. No problem.
To me, the bottom line is intention. We can manipulate reality with our intention, which goes back to what that guy was telling me. Is that really what you're seeing? The Matrix, that's what we call it. We can manipulate reality with intention.
Yes.
If you want to believe hard enough that you can do something, you can do it. And whatever, people call it Mother Earth, the energy Reiki is energy from the universe.
Yes.
We can also gather that energy from the universe to do things we probably should not do, but it can be done.
Yes. It's interesting because obviously I've experienced, and people watching this right now are like, don't mention it, but I'm going to mention it. I've been hexed. I've been cursed. I've been put in jars. I make a joke out all the time now because I feel like I'm protected now because I'm quite into spiritualism now and stuff like that, and I feel like I'm protected now. I do feel like if you do things to mean people that deserve it, I don't think there's really any karma. But then if you do things to people that don't deserve it, and you're just doing it to them just because they don't like them or they're jealous of them, I do think that's wrong. I do feel like karma's going to come back at them tenfold.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't believe in the sevenfold, tenfold rule
Yeah.
whatsoever. But I don't believe it's our place to judge somebody whether they deserve it or whether they don't. But I think we can stop them from doing
Hmm.
things. I'm not going to hurt somebody. But let's say we have a chomo out there
Yeah.
and put them in a freezer. You're not going to want to hot foot them, put them in a jar because they're going to go somewhere and do something
Yeah.
the same. So you're going to want to freeze them.
Hmm.
You're going to want to stop them in their tracks.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously, it's a lot harder to change somebody's mentality, whatever is
Yeah.
wrong with them, to make them do things like that.
Hmm.
I just don't think that we have the time or energy to try to change them. It's just not going to work.
I do feel, I mean, I know people that did dabble in the dark stuff. I mean, and it's when people actually get paid to do like evil things to evil people. I do cross the line at that. I do feel that that will come back to someone when you're doing things to people just because you don't like them.
Hmm.
I think that's wrong. I do think that's wrong. I
Hmm.
do feel that karma will come into play. But then again, I do. This is what I have told people, and I don't know if you'll agree or no. But see, if you truly believe that a curse can't hurt you, I do feel like it will not hurt you. Because if you truly believe that you're protected,
Hmm.
what's your opinion on that?
Again, that goes back to intention.
Yeah.
Because I've seen paranormal teams that will pray to God
Yes.
and they are protected.
Yes.
It's their intention and it's their belief.
Yes.
I've seen others that pray to goddesses
Yeah.
or crystals,
Hmm.
which it's proven that crystals have a power.
Oh yeah.
Um, that's scientifically proven. I mean,
Oh yeah.
we use clear
I'm
quartz
surrounded.
for
It's
TV.
interesting you say that. It's interesting you say that, and I just put that out. That wasn't scripted, by the way, everybody. That was just randomly pulled. Clear quartz.
Clear quartz.
Yep.
Okay, that looks like a moonstone.
It's not. It's clear quartz. I actually found it when in a quarry. There's a lead mining museum near me. I'll mine
Okay,
lead mines, and I was raking about. I like fossils and things, and I found it, and it's just
that
clear quartz. It's
if you put it in a light, do you see any kind of rainbow on
nope,
any of those little cuts?
nope, nope.
Okay.
So it's pure quartz. It's pure quartz. Took me ages to hack away at it with a wee hammer to get it out of the rock. I have got other ones round about me. I mean, I've got things like this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, I'm surrounded. I do have a lot. I do have a lot of crystals round about me. I've got a lot. I mean, I've got a shelf behind my computer. I mean, we've got you know.
What is that one?
It's what is it again? It's my God, I forgot.
It looks like snowflake obsidian.
It's obsidian, yeah, it's obsidian. No, no,
Okay.
it's no obsidian. It's purple. What is it? It's
Oh, okay. That's and why can't I remember that now?
that's terrible, isn't it? I'm going to blame my old age in this. Um, but
Yes.
that's people in the chat. What's purple? What's the purple crystal? But I've actually got some more of it here, which is a slice, which is a beautiful part of my ass.
Amethyst. My gosh.
Amethyst. There you go. There you
Jeez.
go. Amethyst. That's a
Oh
beautiful piece
yeah.
of amethyst. That's really nice. And
Hmm.
I keep that round about me because I feel that I'm covered in crystals. I mean, I've
Oh
got
yeah. Me
obviously
too. Me
I've
too.
got, I think Sabrina, she's in the crew too. Sabrina's in the crystal crew too, isn't you, Sabrina?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got my lapis lazuli,
See,
my
yeah.
amethyst. It's raw amethyst.
Apparently, they're not too great for memory, Michelle, because I can't
Can you
remember them
remember?
half the time.
And
There's,
then clear quartz
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
and fire quartz. I've got more, but
Oh,
those are my main ones.
Oh, that one's pretty.
I've got one. I've got my birthstone, and it's in my ring. It's what is it? Zirconia, the blue September.
Okay,
That's
okay.
what that is. So I have that with the silver thing. But I do think crystals. I mean, crystals are very. I've got loads of them, and I use a lot of them when I'm doing my meditation and stuff.
Yep.
Crystals are great for memory. I've needed to put them round about me there. I can't remember anything. What would you say was your favourite crystal of all time? Putting you on the spot.
I'm going to say selenite, and
Yeah,
it's not really a crystal, it is salt, but it can work as anything
yeah,
Yeah.
and, removes negative. Um, although you can't rinse it, underwater, or really you don't probably want to put it out in the moonlight too many times because the dew and whatever
it'll
else, it's
melt it. Yeah,
going to ruin it.
yeah,
Jet is one of my favorites because we were in a crystal store, and my husband doesn't believe in any of this.
yeah.
And he picks up this jet just because it looks heavy and it's weighs nothing.
Mhm.
He picks it up and he's like, I like this. I said, okay, there's a reason you like it. Take it. And he wore it on a necklace for a very long time. And he would walk around going, I need my
Yeah.
necklace. And we ended up losing it in July. But
Aw.
Yeah.
it's one of those things that it's like, why? And if you look at jet, it's just really, it's wood. It's almost like petrified wood,
Yes. Mhm.
but it was really cool. And it's like, okay, well, it served its purpose, I guess, because it's gone.
My favourite one would be this one. Would be that I've got it in a beautiful tree of life made out of copper,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's snowflake obsidian, which is an absolute. Obviously, it's a protection stone, but
Mhm.
it's also for my grounding and stuff. That's what I use. I wear it all the time along with the copper and the tree of life. Sabrina, what's your favourite crystal? Come on, put you in the spot.
I really think that my favorite is the lapis lazuli, but then I have smoky quartz that I wear on my
Mhm.
Yeah.
necklace because that also is something that'll repel anything that's bad, and it's really good for your internal state too. It kind of helps to even you out if
Yeah.
you're anxious or upset about anything. So
Mhm. There is one, and I cannot remember the name of it, that people will warn you, it
Is
can
that
either be
green?
labradorite.
good or very bad. What is it?
Are you referring to like the not labradorite, but it's in that family. Um,
Might be. And I'm sure I have it, but, people are like, oh, this could be really bad if you're not in the right state, or if it's
Mhm.
not for you, or, it can cause you some of the things I've seen. It's like, yeah,
yeah,
well.
if you're in a if you're on a higher energetic frequency
Yeah.
as well and you use something like that, it just accelerates it that much more. So you're
Mhm.
going to see more that you probably wouldn't have expected to see, because
Yeah.
at that point it's almost like you're seeing through to what actual reality is.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. There is crystals out there. I mean, I'm donating them. I've got my tiger's eye. I use tiger's eye. I like tiger's eye for protection mostly. Um, but I've always been, I forgot the names of most of my crystals. I just pick them up and think, oh, they're shiny, and I put them on. I mean, and I'm no joking here, but I must have about 100 different bracelets.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it's like I don't even know what most of them are. They come with like wee tags, and you tear them off, and you fling the tag away, and you stick them on. But I did do that. I hold my hand over it, and whatever I'm like, oh, that's nice. There's energy for that. I'll have that and fire that one. I do have actually quite rare emerald crystals there. I've got one there. It's like a ball,
Mhm.
and it's very very heavy. I mean, it's ridiculously heavy, and it's actually pure opal that's inside it.
opal is one of my favorite looking ones.
Damn.
Yes, you shine like a UV torch at it, and it just lights up, and
Yeah,
it's
or
absolutely
in
stunning.
the sun. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and it's absolutely stunning. I mean, I've actually had people offering to buy it for me. I won it. I won it. It was like a crystal show in America, and it was like I picked a number and I won it, and they sent it to me all the way to Scotland,
Wow.
and it's worth like $200, $300 or something. Like that. It's a huge ball,
Yeah, they
and
are
and it's
not.
beautiful, beautiful.
I got a marble size one,
Yeah,
and I want to say it was like $25.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's heavy. I can see if you hear it sitting in my cabinet. You can't. It's behind the computer, but it's sitting in the cabinet. But it's interesting when you fire the UV torch at it, it just like lights up. It looks like Jupiter. That's what
Yeah.
it looks like when it's polished. But when people are like, "Oh, that's really nice," that, when I says, "Here, shine the UV torch at it," and it just like lights up, and it's
Mhm.
absolutely stunning. That is one of my finest collection. But I do have a lot of obsidian. Obsidian. I've got a lot of obsidian. I do feel that that's a good protection stone, and I see a lot of people now are putting crystals into the water,
Yep. Yep.
which
You
is
can
interesting.
you can cleanse them underwater, charge them in the moon. Um, the yellows you don't want to charge in the moon. You want to charge those in the sun. But you try to teach people some of this, and it's like they're gonna stick selenite underwater, and they won't have one very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say this. There is a lot of people out there that ask you about things in the Wicca. They ask you things about in the spiritualism, and then when you start telling them, they're like, "Oh, you're
Yeah,
messing with the devil. You're messing with the devil." You ever
you
heard
know,
that? I get that all the time.
I've finally gotten over that. Well, if that's what you want to believe, okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
then you don't touch it. I won't put it on you, and we will not
yeah,
worry about this.
yeah, yeah. So before the end of the show, is there any new locations you're going to soon for Halloween? Anything new?
I actually just had somebody text me during the show. No, I'm not going anywhere on Halloween,
Oh,
but I had somebody text me during the show asking me to do a residential with them. The last residential I done with this person, the family is still messaging me every day.
no.
Um, and I will not, of course, I answer back and different things, but I'm not going to indulge anymore until he is done with his psyche bell, because I feel like there's a thin line between what people call schizophrenic
Mhm.
and people that can actually see.
Yeah.
I think doctors have not figured out which one's which. I mean, yes, there are schizophrenics due to drugs or whatever else that really are in need of help and
Yes.
medication. There are other that they call schizophrenics that are actually seeing without any obstruction. And
Yeah.
that's going to be scary to us to hear that don't see that. Um, who am I to say who's mentally unstable
Mhm.
and what is reality and what is not? But I do want him to go through his counseling and do what he needs to do
Yes.
before I'm going to continue any further.
Yeah, yeah, I know people that are schizophrenic. I do know people that are schizophrenic. There's people that, for instance, I'll see something like moving behind somebody, and I'll be like, "Oh," and I'll describe that person. They'll be like, "How did you see that? How did you know that?" Because then that's that getting validated for me because they're
Yeah.
saying the same thing. But then there'll be people who'll be like, "Oh, I seen a big spider. It was huge. It was the size of my dog, and it was chasing me through the field." And I'm like,
Right.
Right, and then they start saying, "Hi," and it was telling me to do stuff, and it was telling me to do this, and it was telling me to do that, and then you're thinking, you're maybe better going to see a
Yeah. Yeah.
professional. Yeah,
And this person sees aliens, and everything is an orb, or every orb is something different, and show me his cameras, and
yeah,
we can all make pareidolia out of leaves and
yes,
trees. You blow it up big enough, and I'm like,
Yeah,
calm down a little bit. And I'll tell them, pretty soon they'll be mad at me because I'll say, no, you blow up anything big enough. You can take a picture of books. You can take a picture of
yes,
anything.
yeah.
You're going to see a face because
I could
our
take a picture of my carpet and have Jesus reading the Bible if I looked at it long enough. You know,
our brains are trained to see faces, and that's just human nature. So, or familiar, anything familiar, you're going to make a familiar thing out of anything. So I'm like, no, no, that's no. So, yeah. But I love doing residentials if we can bring them peace, even to
yeah,
be able to say there's nothing here, and what is here, you're manifesting yourself. So you
yes,
need to kind of, let's reel back on the stress. Let's go get a psych eval. Let's talk to a counselor, whatever it is we need to do to get your stress level down because
yeah,
you're doing this.
yes. I will say with the alien stuff, there's so much fake stuff out there now. But with all this AI stuff, there's so much fake stuff out there
Hate
now.
it. Yeah.
Oh
Hate
yeah,
it.
it's horrendous. It's horrendous. It's good for some things, for like making thumbnails and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
see, when it comes to like, you just need to go to TikTok or whatever to see all the videos and that. It's ridiculously how good it looks. But
Yeah.
this is where people go down the rabbit hole because there's like they go doing too far down the hole. And I'm going to say right now, that's when they become delusional. They start believing things that aren't true, and it's not just that, they come a danger to others too. They
Yeah.
can become a danger, and that's where I've seen people go like that,
Hmm.
and they've actually been spent some time in a hospital because of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people I think that are in the hospital shouldn't be because they're just telling what they actually saw.
Yes.
And maybe they can see things that we can't. And, who are we to say you're not seeing what you're seeing?
Exactly.
But then again, when they become a danger to others and
Yes.
themselves, it's time to bring it back down like, we did for our children. No, there's no monster under your bed. You,
Yeah.
it's time to bring it down because they can't deal. They're not ready. If
Yeah.
they are seeing what they think they're seeing, they're not ready.
I think the best way, if somebody believes that they can see spirits in their house, is to get another medium to go in.
Hmm.
Somebody that's trained, somebody that knows what they're doing. So if that other medium walks in and they're like, they spend like half an hour walking around the house and there's nothing there,
Yeah.
and then that person, it's telling me to do this, and it's like, I think it's time you go to a doctor and get maybe like. But
Hmm.
then if the other medium goes and they sense something, they might sense that maybe like there maybe is something there,
Yeah.
and it's hiding itself. It's deliberately hiding itself. Then you think to yourself, maybe there's something to this. But you have to be careful because there is people that have committed things just because the voices told them to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And two mediums can go in the same place, same time, and may be able to connect with one thing, and another one may be able to connect with something else, or one may not be able to connect at all. It's just because your frequencies, your frequency and that spirit are not on the same line.
yeah, yeah. So I would like to say thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. Can you tell everybody where they can all find you? This is where you get to plug yourself and tell everybody, because this goes out to the Apple podcast and all other 19 different sites that I've managed to set up. I've got another 36 to sign up for.
We're on Things Network. We
Yeah.
do a show Thursday nights on 6 p.m. Mountain Time. We just joke around. We answer questions. It's just a fun show, but we have all kinds of different shows on that network. And anybody has any questions for me, feel free to message me.
Yep. All things are below the video. You just need to click on it. And also, if you're listening to this through the podcast, all links will be in the podcast description too. So you'll be able to find everything there so it can direct you straight to Facebook or YouTube or whatever. So I would say, thank you very much for coming on. If you wait till after the show, we'll talk to you after the show, after Sabrina shuts down. Sabrina, would you like to say anything before we go?
It was really nice meeting you, Adrienne, and thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So, everybody, stay spooky. I don't know if we're doing anything for Halloween night. We're doing anything for Halloween night, Sabina? Are we going to go ghost hunting in the like a graveyard or something? I don't
We're
know.
gonna do something, yeah.
I want
We're
to do
doing
something.
something.
You know, chase me. You know, I'll dress up as Mrs. Doubtfire. Oh, dearie. Everybody loves, because I'm Scottish, everybody thinks I can put on a Mrs. Doubtfire. I'm on the way, dears, I'm on the way. Everybody, be safe out there. Lots of love. See you all soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Whispers crawl across the floor. Footsteps echo, then no more. Cold hands reach where light won't stay, calling you to come and play. Dancing shadows spinning fast, fear and laughter, they will clash. Beat of terror, pulse of night. Darkness sings but feels alive.